The secret is out. Welcome to Petrol Lounge here in Austin, Texas, where we're about to go for a tour of some pretty amazing things. We're talking hypercars and supercars. There are some different race cars. We've got some of my favorite cars in the entire world. But this is a car storage facility like no other. You won't believe what we're about to go and check out. From storage of different cars to car concierge services and so much more. Some crazy specs in this area which we're allowed to go for a tour. I'm allowed to bring you along to check out this dream paradise. Where else in the world could you find a Type 35, a 1920s Hispano-Suiza, an Aston DB5 and a Mercedes 300 SL Roadster alongside the likes of a Porsche 911R with some PTS details, plenty of other modern Porsches, a radical Lamborghinis, the BMW Z8, we've got the NSX, Pista, STO. There is so much for us to go and take in. I mean, there's even a rally fighter here, along with some very interesting BMWs that we're going to get to as well. I mean, there's even a Mazda AZ-1 and opposite that, a Ford RS200 and the other Ford GTs. We're going to be joined by Kevin, General Manager from Petrol Lounge, to go for a tour because while I can show you all of the hypercars here, including some lovely details on this LaFerrari and the 812 Competizione Aperta, there's a lot more that we need to go and see. Hi guys, I'm Shmi, hello, and welcome back to the channel where, like I said, the secret's out. We're here at Petrol Lounge. Here we are then, and we were just talking about how time disappears
Yes.
when you're around these kinds of things. This is the ultimate definition of it. What a place to be. Just like taking it all in. Where do we begin?
Whoa, how about the LaFerrari?
I mean, LaFerrari is a very good place to begin. Why only 65? And because Racewife, LaFerrari.
Exactly, with awesome blue carbon fiber.
This is genuinely amazing. I mean, very few of these had the full exposed carbon roofs to begin with, but the blue carbon against the Giallo Triplo Strato, I've like died and gone to heaven when I see this car. It's amazing. It's genuinely phenomenal. I should probably mention, we're going to come and take a listen to this later, right?
Yes, our baby.
The Batmobile lurking in the lounge.
One of the real Batmobiles.
Absolutely. Proper thing. Proper thing. So talk to me. There are cars that are in storage, right? So, you know, I know they've only just taken delivery of the Competizione Aperta.
Exactly. Yeah, they finally saw it. He drove it for the first time just a couple of days ago.
Which is mega. And again, this is a matching spec.
Yeah, he waited 2 years for it. Obviously the same owner with the blue carbon fiber. And personally, I wish Pirelli did this on all their tires because it really needs to be a thing.
Do you know what? I'm not quite so much of a fan of the tire.
I like that though. I have a thing for that.
Everybody loves differences. I do love the tricolore of the Italian flag here. This is a tailor-made spec. Again, the blue carbon roof.
Yes.
Just beautiful, 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 beautiful roof on this. And the matching 458 Spider.
Yep.
Right, man.
Obviously, the same person. We got our Speciale over here.
Everywhere I look, it's just like
something's
this is
new.
Amazing. So this Speciale, this is I think blue Scotia. I'm going to be a color nerd right here.
Well, his license plate says it too, so it's
oh, does it?
Yep. He has a couple of cars with us. Loves this car.
Yeah. I mean,
easily going to be the future classic. This is the last and the best of the mid-engine, naturally aspirated. They're fantastic.
Yeah.
We got an oddball. We've got the 612 manual.
That's a manual.
Uh-huh.
There aren't a whole lot of those around, I guess, anymore. But how can you beat a manual with a V12?
Gated V12.
Proper Ferrari gated gearbox. Ooh, lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. I'm in absolute, I mean, we've got literally Pista, 812, F12, Roma, 360.
In a beautiful, was it Roma Barchetta?
That's lovely. This is all lovely. I actually really like this stripe. I'm obsessed with this. This is Azzurro California, and I think Grigio Silverstone maybe next to it. Really, really nice. Okay, so the modern hypercars right in front. Let's head straight opposite to the race cars and the Ford GTs.
Right. We got a face-off between Ford versus Ferrari over there.
You've got that setup going on. Obviously, we know the Ford GTs very well. We've got different generations of heritage here. This is the Ken Miles Heritage.
Correct, which is such a good-looking one. And even though it's the correct colors, not an actual Gulf livery, just the correct colors, especially done for this customer.
Matches his Mark II, which has actually been on my channel before. I've been around Laguna Seca in it.
And he's waiting for his Mark IV.
Yeah, and it's going to be a monster. I mean, this is a Mark II, speaking of them. I mean, I just love what Ford did. Obviously, the road car is basically taken off the race car anyways, but this thing, that just dials it up a million notches further.
And then you have the classic 05s and 06s back there.
Are there 5 of them?
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? Yep. We have 9 Ford GTs total.
In storage?
Uh-huh.
Wow. But talk to me about what we've got here then, the next 2 up.
Yes, we've got the Le Mans, 2010 Le Mans Celine S7, as well as the 2010 Le Mans Ford GT. Both these cars ran in GT1 class against each other that year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the Ford GT was run by a Swiss all-female race team. Unfortunately, they had a mechanical and it didn't finish the race. The Celine won.
That's
and it has a
insane.
long history of wins. It's actually a very decorated car, not just literally. Yeah. And owner recently picked that up. It's all set up to hit the track. He has tracked this one.
That's so cool.
It's a wonderful scene that, it's 14 years later, and they're back together again.
I love that kind of story. I love those kinds of things, the way it plays out. Carrera GT,
you've got to have one.
Well, I wish I did. I wish I had bought one before the price.
You and me both.
What they've done, that seal grey, it's such a nice car to drive.
Oh,
the
yes.
V10, it's a sweet spot. We should probably also talk about this, the RS200.
Yes, the Evo. So it's one of the 24 Evos. Over 600 horsepower, 2.1 liter dual overhead cam turbo. We finally got a chance. We drove it to one of the 80s and 90s car shows last year. It's called Radwood. Yeah. And they called us up and asked if we had a rad car. And we told them what we had. They pretty much just stopped the presses and said, hey, bring it, please. We'll give you free tires. It is rowdy. It is just, the worse you treat the car, the better it is. You do not use the clutch to shift it. Otherwise, it won't shift. You just slam the gears. You do bad things.
Yeah. It's literally a case of drive it hard. Oh yeah, you've got the Radwood raddest in show. Yeah. I like that. This is about as rad as it gets. I mean, it's literally rally car for the road, straight off. That is.
Yeah, it is. It's so good and it's interesting. So mid-engine, obviously. Yeah. But the transmission's between the front wheels.
An inverse transaxle.
Exactly, for weight balance, because they knew it'd be airborne who knows how often. Another neat little trick, since you know you're in a rally car that's going to be beat the pulp, there are backup brake lights behind the grills here that when this gets ripped off, it flicks some switches because they're pressure switches, and it starts using those when this inevitably gets ripped off.
Oh, funny.
You know you're in a rally car when it's designed to lose body panels.
That's really cool. I also quite like, normally I only really like GTs with stripes, but the red stripe delete is actually...
Because it's rare. I mean, it's...
Rare.
You just don't see it.
I'm standing in the middle of many epic Fords right now. This is a good place to be. And then a beastie Cullinan right alongside.
Oh, yes. Blue and yellow. You can guess who that is. And then you have to have an RX-7.
Yeah, GT3 Touring, RX-7.
Yep. Countach 25th anniversary.
This is like every kind of car person can see something they like here right now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. And it's funny. One of the interesting things about this job is seeing what every person homes in on. Yeah. I mean, everybody's got their thing. You know, they'll freak out about the RS200, or they'll freak out about the AZ-1. Or last year we had a Caprice wagon, the big round, just generic Caprice wagon. It was a hit because somebody's parent had it when they were growing up, you know?
So we passed the 512 to this. Then talk to me about this. I know.
Testarossa.
Is it Testarossa?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
My bad. I can never tell the front.
I know. I only do that because Randy keeps has to correct me every time too. Now we got the little AZ-1. It's the world's cheapest way to get millionaire doors.
Okay. Yeah. Fair. Take that, the Huayra.
Yep.
You can get it with an AZ-1.
Exactly.
This thing's tiny. It's a little Japanese car, and I like that it's still wearing a plate.
Oh, yes.
It's minuscule.
And we do motorcycles, but most people can fit their motorcycles in the corner of their garage, so we don't see a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, that
Porsche Landia.
This is Porsche heaven. Starting at the 911R, that's unusual because the PTS cars were few and far between of the 991s. Mm-hmm. And that's GT Silver with the livery in the lime green. Such
a good car.
Yeah, one of the best.
Oh, yes.
I'm yet to drive an ST, but I imagine that's going to follow up nicely to this.
Yeah, he has one on the way, so we will be able to see that too.
Have to come check that out soon. GT4 RS Weissach. I mean, this is just dreamland. Porsche's new and old, every kind of generation.
And that orange one, that is actually a Sonder which
Okay.
it was a 76. Forgive me, I'm still learning about it, but I think it was the RS engine
Okay.
that they were having to stop putting in the cars because of emissions. They had too many as extras, so they stuffed 75 in the lowest, lightest, just cheapest bodies they had and sold them. So it's a monster engine in a car with crank. There's nothing in the car. It's as little as possible.
That sounds like a recipe for fun.
It is really fun. This one was originally bought by Michael Schumacher's brother. So
wow.
Schumi rode in this one, I imagine, at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
the owner
really
of this
special.
he just recently got it. It was kind of a bucket list. He's been looking for one for a long time.
And then not a whole lot of them.
No.
And then just all of the like enthusiast cars imaginable. Another 4RS, GT3 Touring, nice spec. 991.2 Speedster.
You got a Sport Classic over there with the ducktail.
Past what's back here. Cobra.
Random Kirkham Cobra with the untreated aluminum.
That's really, really cool actually to see like that.
It's awesome, but if you touch it, the oil from your skin will stain it.
Don't go near
For
it.
people who think black cars are too easy, they want a challenge.
Yeah,
So.
make their lives a little harder. So we've got the new Sport Classic. It's the variety. Like, how do we go from these epic Porsches to the BMWs right here?
And especially that BMW.
Yeah, we need to talk about this.
So this one, I might still have the record for the most comments on an online auction. And at that particular online auction, it is a 2001 740i that, at least here in the States, never came a manual.
Okay.
Previous owner, he's one of those people, he builds full-size models, basically. He finds a frame, does crazy stuff with it, and sells it immediately. I'm sure he loses money doing it, but this is his passion. So it's been converted to manual, I have a new BMW.
Okay.
Has the M5's V8 supercharged, so it's running 560 at the wheels. Limited slip differential, and the Brembo brakes are not painted.
Yeah.
It still has the original quiet exhaust.
Okay.
Let me pop the hood on this thing.
So this is literally the ultimate in...
This is the ultimate sleeper. And this guy has an M4 competition. He has lots of high-end BMWs, and although they are faster, this is more fun. And this all looks so factory.
Yeah, that's beautiful. 560 horsepower manual. What on earth?
And the only way to get a manual, like I said, at least in the States, I don't know if the other side of the pond actually has manuals in this generation. I know the previous generation did. And then you've got your 911, your GT3 RS 4.0.
Yeah.
And this one has enough miles that it's been tracked, been driven quite a bit, and the owner is going to track it, which makes me so happy.
That is what we like to hear.
Yeah, it makes me so happy.
I'm going to ignore the Viper behind for a moment because I've spotted this.
Yeah.
This is a kind of M3, but there are more doors than an M3.
Exactly. It started off as a 330, and the previous owner was a little bit OCD in making sure it was an absolute perfect, if there was such a thing as a four-door M3 in this generation, it's in this car.
Yeah.
It's the engine, the drivetrain, obviously the fender flares went on.
Yeah.
The interior, they did the cloth seats, which I really like a heck of a lot more than leather because I don't like sliding around.
This is so cool. I actually have a massive craving for an E46 M3, but that takes the cake because that's just...
It's fun to show up at a car show with this and all the BMW guys kind of go, what's wrong?
They're kind of scratching. They're like, I can't work this out.
They know something's wrong, but they can't quite figure it out.
I can't figure what this is. The Rally Fighter is a bit of a mad machine. They're out of Arizona.
Yep, and they made 30-something of these. 7 are here in Austin, so it's a kind of a big thing here in Austin.
It's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, this guy owns 2 of them, so it's they're just as awesome and crazy as you would expect.
Yeah, back in the day, I did a rally across the US, and there were a couple of them from Local Motors on the event. They were driving these, and as soon as we hit the deserts of Nevada, they were off.
They were, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They were letting it a little bit loose and having some fun.
And then 50th anniversary 911. Oddly enough, we ended up with 3 of these, and they're all the same color. It's been a little bit difficult to make sure which one's which.
Yes.
But thank goodness we have a good...
Walk around frantically with the key.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we have a good inventory system, thankfully, that lets us know which one is which, but we're always terrified of this.
There you go.
Urus.
Astons and the Urus. And
We got the
Porsches.
Rapide over
Is
there.
that a V12 Vantage at the back?
That is in the back there, that one, yes.
They're lurking at the rear, hiding away. It's one of those, like, my eyes are just trying to scour over the cars. When we go past the Corvette. That paint is insane.
The Mistachrome.
That is really cool. I mean, it's one of those colors that I think Ford offered on the GT. A couple of people like asked about it, but the price tags come back and they go,
yeah.
oh, not so sure anymore.
And one way you can tell this is an original Ford color,
Yeah.
it was originally came in this color, is look at the leather. It actually has the same effect.
Really?
Something that most people don't realize is the...
Oh, yeah, but
there's
we're
one
locked.
you got
But
locked
the
up,
seats literally have the same effect on them.
and steering wheel and all that good stuff. And I don't know how your phone's going to do it, but
It can see it.
most
it
of
can
our
see it.
phones can't pick up as much green as our eyes are.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. The phone, I'm in a little bit on the roof.
Right, but your eyes see a lot more green than your phone is picking up.
Yeah, that's really strange,
And
actually.
then a 429, that was the NASCAR engine. They had to sell them to the public before they could race them, so they literally stuffed that engine into this poor thing.
Those were kind of the days of motorsport, right? When they kind of they had to do it, and these crazy things just existed, and sometimes there are one-offs, and this kind of continued all the way even to the 90s, like 911 GT1s and CLK GTRs and stuff. But it doesn't really happen now.
No,
like
because
now
stock cars aren't stock cars anymore.
Yeah, it's all a little bit different. Is this a 620R?
570S.
570 with a big wing on the back.
Uh-huh.
God.
And then we got our acid green 992 GT3.
Yeah, that doesn't hide.
No.
Like if you've lost your car in a car park,
Just
in
look
that
for the
colour,
glow.
Yeah.
You can probably see it before you see the car.
And then we've got a couple more older
Nice little-
classics and things this way.
Nice little turbo 997.
Yeah, Acura NSX in front.
And then a Polestar 1. That is actually the paint up there at the front.
That's painted gold.
Yeah, that is not a wrap. The
Wow,
last 25 as a send-off, they painted that color, and the owner of this says that there's rumored to be one more in the States. There's 2 of them here in the States in this color.
Wow, I have to be honest, I saw it and I was looking at it and I was assuming it must be wrapped that color.
Nope.
That's amazing. There's definitely a throwback coming to like
It is.
golden era colors.
And it's just, yeah, we like colors. I mean, how many silver and blacks are we seeing these days? And we got the Edsel, Ford's unfortunate failure of a sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know very little about the older American stuff. This is where
They didn't do that well. It was for Ford's son, Edsel, to honor him as he passed away.
What's with the E46 race car? Back
Yeah,
here?
that is an LS7 powered track monster. 335 tires up front, 345s in the rear. These are handmade metal fenders. This is not a kit. All this was done bespoke, and he's in the shakedown period of it, just making sure everything works. Every little detail on this thing is just so good.
It's really cool, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the wing is about as high as my head.
And
like, literally.
they actually found that, you notice the wing is not in a very aggressive angle.
Yeah,
they
too
found
much
it was so
downforce.
much downforce where it is that they had to actually turn it down as far as they could.
Probably can't deliver and get the power out of it.
Then we have the S2000, which people are starting to like them even more and more.
Isn't it amazing to see how anything like that is actually shooting up in value almost just because of rarity? We won't have more.
No, you won't have a
manual
car
little
feel
sports
like
cars.
this. No, and we're seeing it a lot. Power now is so cheap.
Yeah.
You know, you could buy a 4-door that does 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds. I mean, the power is not what it used to be. But cars like this, or the 360, 430 Ferraris, anything from those 90s and mid-aughts and everything, they're so analog that they're nowhere near as fast, but they just feel a little bit...
They've got the character.
They've got the
It's all about
character.
the character.
Yes, it is.
What is this?
That is an Icon 4x4 Bronco. They take the body of a 60s Bronco and redo everything. The frame is completely custom. It has the Coyote engine. I have a new Mustang.
Okay, I have come across these before. Okay.
They're so well done, and just the little details, like these used to be stamped steel.
Yeah.
Now they're billet. Even the windshield wiper arms are billet. Yeah. So it just everything on this car has been touched.
Really nicely made.
Yes. And this one was done 10 or 11 years ago.
Okay.
And you can see it, they hold up really well, so they're actually well built as well.
Yeah, important. Got to keep all of these things running. What else do we come past?
We got a beautiful 10,000 mile SL65 AMG.
Yeah. It's like peering down every aisle.
Exactly.
It's like, what's hiding? What's lurking?
This one still smells new inside.
Yeah?
He also has a 20,000 mile, 2001 M5. That's just,
Oh, cool. Locked in time.
Oh, yes.
Rolling with it. It's what we like to see. No, I'm very much out of my elements up here. I have to be completely honest. As soon as we get to the Lambos, I can talk
You can start
about them all
figuring
day.
it out, yes.
And then actually, do you know what? Even though we're facing some lovely classics, I'm going to come through to this because the original Tesla Roadsters are the most unusual things. That actually looks really cool. Do you know what? The more that time goes by, the more even I have an appreciation for this. And I should be a petrol head and hate these things just because. But
no, but you know what? They're so neat. I don't have a problem with the electrics. You know, they have their own thing.
And I also like that they took like the smallest, lightest car, they took the Lotus,
which actually is one thing. So many people have not seen these.
Yeah.
And the first thing when they see this, were they always this small? Yeah. They didn't realize that they were that small.
I could actually see one day actually ending up with one of these.
So these ones are interesting since they're rear-wheel drive. They're not all-wheel drive, and it's an older electric. These aren't quiet. These howl.
Makes all sorts of weird noises.
Oh yes, yeah, and it's just not as tamed as the newer Teslas feel. So it actually feels like the sports car that it's sitting in. It kind of has that unhinged, I can hurt you if you want me to feel that the newer Teslas as they refined it and got everything working right went away.
It might not have been the first ever electric car, but it was obviously the first Tesla. So it's a big,
exactly.
Big
we actually
piece
had
of
number
history.
6, Tesla Roadster number 6 here for a while.
Wow.
And black with red interior. One of the, I think they called it the Founder Series.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. I like that they've got the little...
that's from us. We actually we use the excuse that when we'll go to a toy store to look for Hot Wheels for our customers, not for us.
I'm going to skip through though to the Ultimate here.
Oh yes.
One of 350 Aventador Ultimates, the ultimate final last Aventador.
Such a beautiful car. I love this kit. This is just such a good looking car. And one of our clients actually lost his in that ship that went in.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so one of our customers that had one on order and it disappeared.
That was frustrating.
Yeah.
But no,
I'm so glad they went back to the glass back here that the earlier ones had.
Throw it back to that design without the SVJ's big wings, but still with the 780 horsepower V12. And then next to it, Technica and STO, and
a really good Performante.
Yep, that's quite nice actually.
Yes,
and
this is his favorite. The owner of this one, this is his baby, and we agree. We've driven his STO.
These are all together as a collection,
and we've that's faster, but this is just kind of the perfect balance.
Yeah,
Performante.
I mean, I had an STO for a couple of years. I find it an interesting comparison between them. They stretch this engine as far as it can go.
Oh yeah.
They've recently announced the next generation, which will be a tri-motor hybridized twin turbocharged V8, which is going to be a whole lot of fun. But sadly, that's the end of the V10 in any production car.
It is, which is making, if you end up with, if you have one of these,
who knows what the future is
going to be. I mean,
however, we're back at the 458 Speciale. What can I say?
Yes.
What can I say? Absolutely stunning. 4.5 litre V8, NA. Again, end of a naturally aspirated era for Ferrari, that one. Pista, ZA.
Z, exactly.
This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, these are all different people, so that's why it's such an eclectic operation, is that, you have, there's people here there's multiple people here with multiple cars.
Yeah.
We have about 250 unique clients, so there's 250 sets of taste that are spread around this building. So you just see all these crazy things that you're like, well, where did that come from?
Yeah, and that's how you end up with a Radical next to an NSX. Exactly.
A Zanardi NSX, number 2 actually.
Oh.
So Honda kept serial number 0. 1 went to Alex, and this was the first sold to the public.
Wow.
And that one has spent a lot of life on COTA, so it's being driven as it should.
Good man. Right. Some beautiful cars right here.
Yes, we keep these together because they were direct competitors at one point.
Yeah, throwing it back to the late 50s. 300 SL Roadster, roof up. You don't often see them with the roofs up, but the spec of this, the green roof over the green bodywork. This is gorgeous.
It's such good shape. The owner named her Marilyn.
Okay, it's stunning. This is absolutely stunning.
I asked one time, because we've had a few of the Roadsters now, but none of them were Gullwings yet.
Yeah.
And I asked, why did you choose the Roadster over the Gullwing? And they said, if you want to drive your 300, you have to get the Roadster.
The rear axle of the Gullwing is sketchy.
Well, it's also, you can't put air conditioning in these things. And the windows that roll down on a Gullwing are about that big. You saw how hot it was outside.
It's boiling today. I mean,
it's miserable.
It's pleasant and cool in here. You must have to do quite a lot of work to keep that for the cars.
Yeah. Don't ask about our electrical bill.
The DB5 though.
Yeah. Speaking of air conditioning.
Yeah.
When it was new, they added air conditioning to this car. And interestingly enough, they actually had to cut the gas tank in half, so you had to fill it twice.
Really?
Yeah. But it works so well since there's no headrest. You have the old style seats. It's right on the back of your
on the back of your head. So what do we have in the next row?
We have a 1927 Bugatti Type 35B. This is actually one of the Persang cars.
Yeah.
So you can actually drive it.
Yeah.
Which the originals you don't want to drive them. Fantastic car. 180 horsepower, 1,600 pounds, supercharged inline 8, and does 120. The current owner of this has tracked this car.
Really?
Yes.
That's
no seat belts, no doors, no roof, only the grip of your steering wheel is holding you in that car.
But he's been driving the most, or the winningest, they call it the winningest car of all time.
Yes, it is. And I've driven this. The personality of this car and its capabilities are immediately apparent. It has power to just spare. It's so fun to drive.
Crazy to think that it's almost 100 years old.
Getting there. Speaking of which, just a few months from being 100 years old for our Hispano-Suiza. She's my favorite.
Yeah.
Just because her high tech. She has an all aluminum overhead cam inline 6 in 1925, which is unheard of. Power brakes, first production car with power brakes. Previous owner took her to Pebble Beach and won her class and drove her home to Seattle.
Wow. Yeah. That's not a short drive.
No, that is about as long as you can get.
If you take a global map, it might look small, but it's probably in this a good old trek.
Oh, yeah. And it's kind of funny, the cars like this don't have keys.
Yeah.
You don't have an ignition key to start this car. And the owner of this likes to drive, and he was afraid one day. He asked me, should I be worried about somebody stealing this car?
Like, no,
so if you think a manual transmission is an anti-theft device, this, you have to control everything. You have to adjust your timing, your mixture, everything is adjusted by you. Safe. No, it ain't going nowhere.
No one's gonna figure that one out. No one has a chance.
And then the not a Ferrari hiding with all the Ferraris.
Yeah. There's the 06.
And you have to have an LFA.
I'm standing next to an LFA, and I haven't even realized I'm standing next to an LFA.
Such a good car. Like you were talking about with the Carrera GT, talk about getting into it too late. These ones have just skyrocketed because people are realizing just how good this car is.
Oh, yeah. The LFA was a lot of people at the time looked at it as this really expensive Toyota.
But
once you drive it now, it's the engineering level that went into it is so far beyond. I've been lucky to drive a couple of them. Actually, earlier this year, even drove one, and just everything about it, the sound, the feel, the mid-front V10, just, I love it. I absolutely love it. This kind of understated, unless you know cars, you don't really know what this thing is.
Well, especially these days, because Lexus is using this design style for their current cars. So people come in here and think, oh, is this the SC? I'm like, no.
This is quite special. This is something very serious. This is indeed an LFA. And I've got to say as well, while we're standing here, that's lovely.
Stunning, yes. So this customer always buys black cars. And they went to go
quite a departure.
It's quite well, they saw it in the showroom and just said, ooh, mine.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. And apparently it had different wheels on it, so they changed the wheels out and stuff. But yeah, such a good color on this.
You don't think that should work as well as it does, but combine it with the stripe, which I think must be also Dino down the middle of the piece to that. I like this a lot. I wouldn't have naturally gone for that.
If you saw a color swatch of this, you probably wouldn't have picked it.
No.
But on the car, it looks so good. And then, of course, you've got 488s all over the place, 458s, Roma, an F12. Do you know Doc Martin boots?
Of course.
So this guy's old punk. He had Ferrari do a tailor-made F12 that matches Doc Martin boots. So it's oxblood off of the boots. And if you look through that windshield, you can see that the seats are using the leather and even changed their stitching to oversized stitching like the boots have. And as a neat little bonus, because these came with the luggage, he has luggage that matches his Doc Marten boots.
Inside? Yes. Wow. The spec of that. And this is the leather and stitching from Doc Martens.
You'll notice how big these stitching is. It's more like the boots.
The oversized stitch. Even on the parcel shelf and everything. Tailor-made at Ferrari, that's what you can do. Is the luggage set in the car? Can we take a
yes,
take a look? Do we press the button on the door?
Let me open her up here.
This is amazing. Congratulations to the owner of this.
Oh, he's exactly who you expect too.
Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
How cool is this?
when you're is it still punk if your luggage from your Ferrari matches?
I mean,
it is.
You're really, really like an enthusiast. But that was the whole idea of TaylorMade.
Oh yes,
When Ferrari did it, I mean, this is an F12. This is 10 years old. When they had the idea to do that kind of project and that kind of thing, this is what they were or had in mind from customers, right? To come and do something that's way out of the norm.
His other car, which when we get to it, I'll show you, has some other neat little touches on. Actually, you know what? It's right there.
Yeah, the 488.
So his 488, he wanted it to be tailor-made as well.
Yeah.
But he bought this when the 70th anniversary cars were being built. Yep. So Ferrari said, no, it's going to take you a year and a half, 2 years to get your car, and he didn't want to wait. Ferrari felt bad, which that says a lot. So they gave him, they threw in a bunch of these all the options, and everybody that touched it during the production signed it.
They now sell that option that you can have like the F1 drivers sign your car.
Oh yes, yeah, we've got one of those. Yeah,
it's not the same as it was back then when it was kind of an informal thing, and if they did it or if you were able to arrange it, that was really quite something special.
Then you have the 16M.
Yeah, I love those. When I drove one of those, and actually was visiting a collector recently when we were talking about it, when those were around with the single clutch automated gearboxes, the way they drive is so far beyond anything else with that.
Yes.
The R8s, the Astons, the whatever
everything.
else is.
When I drove this, I finally found a single clutch I truly enjoyed.
It gives you almost dual clutch speed shifts, but still that manual engagement, that kind of feel you're in charge.
I fully agree.
It's really nice. And the 512.
Yep, 512. Fastest car you could buy in 1981.
I didn't realize that. That was interesting, because obviously, pre F40s and the like.
Oh yeah, this is a 1981, so very much. And the owner of this drives it quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good car. I mean, obviously modern cars are quite a bit faster, but this is so engaging and so fun.
And then we haven't actually touched on it, but that SF90 is not normal.
it is the best not normal.
This is full tailor-made Assetto Fiorano SF90, bespoke paint color, I think.
Oh yes.
Just the whole works, the livery, the dream lines, carbon wheels, painted shields.
I love the ducktail on the back, the spoiler up back there, just looks so good.
That's cool. That's bold. I like that. I like bold. I think in modern cars, it's easier to do crazy paints and crazy designs and crazy things, and to go with something like that. That was a big, big, big bite of the brave pill to place the order.
It is. And you know what, though? It gets more attention than any of the other SF90s we've had.
Yeah, I can imagine that. People just go straight to it, mesmerized by it. Wow. I mean, that's been quite a cool little tour. But I think we promised a little sound check.
Yeah, we have to go see Bruce over here.
Should we go do it?
Yes.
Firstly, the LaFerrari's moving. And silent start just to troll us a little bit. Because it can. Although I think we need a V12 cold start. That's better. That's my kind of engine sound. 6.3 litres of naturally aspirated Ferrari V12. I actually love this car. Yellow and blue carbon was a colour scheme I spoke about as an option for my SF90 XX. I'll have to wait and see what I go for, but that is a very, 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 very nice drum bolt. I hope it hasn't destroyed the microphone. At this point, we haven't really spoken about this side of things at all, the lounge.
Yes, this is where all our clients can actually relax. They'll have meetings here. Porsche Club Austin and Ferrari Austin clubs will also, they will have, meetings here, dinners, breakfasts, whatever. I like to show off a lot of our friends who are artists. We have Shan Fannin with her very realistic paintings. You have Andrew Horner with Color Cartel. He's a local graffiti artist. He's done that, and the F1 car behind you that he just brought us. And we have to throw in some 80s, 80s video games.
I always love the different styles of things. I also particularly like the engine warning light over there.
Yes, that's actually set up to the Chicago mass transit system. And when they tweet, or I guess X now,
an issue of
an
some
issue
sort?
that they're having an issue, it turns on the check engine light.
Really?
Yes.
Well, sorry to the people in Chicago. You currently have problems.
Apparently there is something wrong at your transit system.
If that light is on.
And of course, I know all your viewers have been looking at what you've been just panning around this whole time.
Batmobile.
Yes, this is one of the real ones. This is Bat 4. It was the last one that Barris built. It's also the one he built the way he wanted to. So Bat 1 was based off of a Lincoln Futura concept car. It is the only metal one.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the only one in the show. And then they made 3 fiberglass copies for marketing. The fiberglass 1 and 2, which are Bat 2 and 3, they were drivable, but they were meant just to move in and out of car shows and stuff like that. Barris built this one the way he wanted to. So it has a Holman Moody 427 side oiler. It's basically out of the GT40 race cars from the 60s for Le Mans.
That's
this
crazy.
thing in the 60s. There's video of this one doing 12-second quarter miles, spinning the tires all the way down. And that's something else for something of this size.
Yeah.
This one was not meant to be in the show, but it was actually in one of the episodes. The number 1 was damaged during filming, and this one happened to be just sitting on the lot, so it got subbed in. If you ever look for the episode, The Contaminated Cowl, where he got irradiated and it turned his helmet pink, that happens apparently. When you're watching that show, the car that you're seeing is this car, not number 1. The owner of this loves driving it. He actually drives the heck out of it when the weather's nice, because not only does it not have air conditioning, it doesn't have a firewall.
Oh, dear.
So this was also used at Adam West's memorial.
Okay.
So Julie Newmar, Catwoman, signed it, and Burt Ward, Robin, also.
That's cool. But hey, you've got the Bat phone, and you
got the Bat phone.
You're good to go.
And I love everything is marked, including over on the other side. There's a sign that says secret area, because if you have a secret area, you want to make sure you tell everyone that it's a secret area. Yeah, and this is also the only one that shot flames out the jet. Yeah, it uses a propane tank that's hidden underneath the car, and it will shoot flames a couple of feet out. And it's a huge hit, obviously.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's really, really standing out.
And it's really rowdy. I can start it up for you if you wish. Yes.
I think we've got to. I think we've got to get this started and take a little listen and see how it sounds.
Exactly. No exterior door handle.
Oh, yeah?
Reach in here. Okay. Open it up. The seats are basically padding on the floor. You can tell that, I think Adam West was a tall guy, because even me, I'm sitting too low in this thing.
Yeah. Normal car.
Normal car, just completely something you drive every day.
And then it's going to make quite the racket. You weren't joking. That has a rumble to it.
Oh, wait, here we go.
That has an epic soundtrack to it. Oh, we got the lights. Listen to that. That's a Le Mans in the 60s. Straight off the Circuit de la Sarthe. They did it before Koenigsegg.
Yes!
This is auto skin, but from back at the time. That's quite cool. So you're telling me it did a 12-second quarter mile with the motors to open the front?
Yep.
That feels like that's got to have been a cost of some significant time.
So one of the games that we like to play here at the Petrol Lounge is, after somebody goes through a tour, what's your favorite? What would you take? If you pick one,
you have to pick one. If you could only pick one car.
Pick one, yes.
It's
Which
almost
one would you take?
So I have my go-to favorites that I often speak about, things like the Carrera GT and the Lexus LFA. I'd be fascinated to drive the Tesla Roadster, just because I never have. Not yet driven one at all. Just brainstorming. Of course, there are tons of amazing Porsches that would be fun to go and track and drive hard. The 911R, for example, is superb. And then you have things like these, the Type 35, the DB5, 300SL Roadster. This is spoiled for so much choice. I'm going to be very cliche, certainly for my channel, because there's one that's kind of like staring us in the face right now.
I wonder which one that one is. Yep.
That, because that's not even just any LaFerrari. Any LaFerrari I love, but this is it's a matching pair to its Aperta sibling as well. But I've spoken about it often. LaFerrari for me is a car that when it launched, I never really got it, and as time's gone by, it's my like.
I agree.
Modern.
They were cool to me before, but when they brought these two in, whoa.
You know, I'm saying this, and I'm like, there's an RS200 there. That's wicked to go and drive. What's your favorite?
I go old school. I like the Hispano-Suiza just because I like old mechanical things.
If you can work out how to drive it.
And I am. I mean, I am a child of the '80s, so the Countach. I mean, I can't help. I had that exact car on a poster during high school on my wall, so that's.
Mega. What a place. Thank you for this
tour.
tour.
You're welcome, man. Welcome over here. Always welcome over here.
This has been an absolutely awesome place to just look around and see and take in. I feel like I need to just go sit down for a bit and take it all in and focus. Thank you. That's been incredible.
You are welcome.
I think on that one, we're going to wrap this up. And you've possibly noticed my Giallo shoes almost matching the Giallo Triplo Strata, although they're slightly more Giallo Modena. Maybe we need to find an F50 in Giallo Modena one day. Anyway, what a place. What an amazing lineup, display, array of cars that are here in storage. There's also some even more private storage hidden away. But to have taken a look around here today, I am mind blown. And what a tour with Kevin to see all of these cars. What an opportunity to understand more about so many of them. This is like a secret amazing place here in Austin that I never really expected to stumble into, but I'm absolutely not complaining about. I don't know whether to focus here, the race cars, all of the Ford GTs, all of the other Fords around, the Ferraris, the amazing Competizione Aperta, LaFerrari, the blue carbon details, everything else, the Doc Martens F12, the Tesla Roadster. Total dream. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up there. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're in need of some storage here in Austin, I think you know the place to go. If you're in need of some concierge support services with cars as well, I think you've got it all under one roof. That's it for today, though. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Cheers.